been doing what all you do a little over 50 years. If you're trying to do the math, we had juniors at 10 years old. I'm very proud to be able to stand here today representing Weldon Park and the Abington Township, and to be with all these fine people on this stage to come out to recognize what we all went through on February 17th. This was an event that changed the lives of many people, and as you know, SPS has been a very stable organization within our township over all these years. You can walk down the street, and no matter who you talk to, someone knows someone who worked at SPS over the years. This fire was devastating not only to the people that worked there, but to the surrounding neighborhoods, and what a challenge for all of us that are standing out here today. This fire was the largest fire in the state of Pennsylvania, building fire. It was a fire in a mine, and there were some forest fires that lasted a little longer than 6 days. John and Keith wanted to keep it going a little longer, but 6 days is about it. It was an impact on the community, there's no doubt about it, but the success of this fire was pre-planning. And as I look around and I see all the chiefs out here, and the deputy chiefs, and the captains and lieutenants, and the group that is here that makes this up, this community up, this didn't happen by accident. This is something, a building that we've pre-planned for over 50 years. Now, we knew the resources within the building, and when it came to working with this company, SPS, they were very forthwith, whatever it was that we needed to know, whether it be chemicals, whether it be the way their piping worked as far as the standpipes, the way their pond worked out back for pumping out water when we needed water for yard hydrants, or the sprinkler system worked. No matter what it was they were doing in there, they shared it with us, which we continue to update our pre-plans. In 2010, Abington Township was the first volunteer fire company in the United States that became fully accredited. And today, there are very few companies and very few townships like that. One thing that brought for Abington Township was a unified training program. Not only training, but a unified way of working together. And we standardized so much of our operations within 5 departments, which is very hard to do within a lot of towns. This fire was actually something that we could see the benefit of that right off the start. Now, we utilized many resources during this fire, and obviously you can imagine that the training was very important, the pre-planning was very important. We emphasized the unified command, which started right out from the beginning with the police department, the EMS working together, technical rescue working together. We utilized as many resources that you can imagine within the county and within the township. I can't say enough about the township resources. We have our commissioners, one of our commissioners here today with us on the township level. And the township went into act, and when you talk about EMAP, we set up an EMAP position right next to where our trailer was for our communications setup. And the communications between the police department, the news media, the township, and the support we got was overwhelming. We talked about the county resources. We took advantage, obviously, of the large diameter hose task force. We had the field comm that was there. We had the technical rescue was there. So you kind of know what we did as far as a pre-plan standpoint. But when we got dispatched to this fire, first of all, we got dispatched to one street over from where the fire was. On the way there, as the county was putting the dispatch out, they did get a confirmation that it was SPS was on fire. I've been to many fires at SPS over the years. I've been to technical rescues down there. I've been to hazmats down there. Never in our wildest dream did we ever think that we were going to pull up and see fire through the roof. We always plan for the worst, and we always hope that the worst would never come. And that night, I thought the worst was coming. We utilized the plan we had in place. They worked the plan, the officers in place, the township officers, our officers, Keith and his crew. They utilized the plan we had in place. There was a couple pages missing, obviously. We had a sprinkler system that wasn't working. We had a hydrant system in the yard that wasn't working. We had a pump that wasn't working. But you know what? They kept turning the pages, and they kept calling on additional resources. And I'll tell you, when we got there, and the fire was through the roof, and when the deputy chief came out and said, we believe there could be up to 60 people trapped in this building, still in this building. When you saw the Abington Township first arriving units, along with our mutual aid units, go into that building in an orderly fashion, do a search and do a rescue to make sure that everyone got out of that building, it was amazing. As soon as we found out that everyone was out, we did get everybody out, and we got our firefighters out. It was by the grace of God that nobody got injured, between the firefighters and the people that were in that building, and everybody was accounted for. 60 companies later, 60 companies later, we got the fire out. 12,000 gallons a minute we were flowing at one time, and we used over 15 million gallons of water. We saved hundreds of machines for SPS, and this could have been a chemical disaster, as everyone knows down there. But what we did down there, that what everyone in this group here did, plus many more, we were able to protect that from happening. And a chemical disaster would have been detrimental to these neighborhoods nearby. So I can't thank you enough for everyone who was here today and everyone that did help with this. The other thing that was incredible was the community support we got from food, from people sending notes, from people just, the outpouring was unbelievable. And you will all feel that today when you walk down the streets of Glenside, the appreciation that the volunteer fire company has today. All right, at this time, I have some key speakers that are come up and talk. The first one we're going to have is Chief Keith Mazza.
Okay, hopefully I can follow up with that. Good afternoon, everyone. As Bud said, I'm Keith Mazza, Chief of Wildfire Company. February 17th, 9:42 p.m., a day and time, will always be in my memory. I'm thankful for everyone who responded that night and the days following. I have the deepest gratitude to everyone. The leadership before me taught me everything I know. The fire tests our capabilities, our coordination, and the courage of each of you. The teamwork, the skills, the professionalism was evident with the outcome. No injuries or anyone killed that night is amazing. Like Bud said, the pre-plans that they all passed down, the knowledge of where to get the water, knowing the area of the building to keep the fire out of, all worked because of the team effort put forth by all you and the agencies that responded. This ceremony is a small token of appreciation. The food, the parade, and the applause from the crowd is a way to say thank you. Thank you once again. We often say fire service is a family, and that day in the week showed. Thank you very much.
Dave Corrigan said I'm not allowed to say anything about anybody, so I'll go right down the list here. But I have to say something about this next person, Congresswoman Dean, who is grew up in our neighborhood, is a big supporter of not only Weldon Fire Company, has many family members that are in Weldon Fire Company, and we always appreciate, no matter what position you're in, you're always here for us.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. Oh boy, here we go. Oh no, that's not good. Don't worry, I will be brief, but I am short. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the fire chief. This is really about community. I'm a girl from Glenside. I grew up here just a couple of blocks down the road. I grew up with most of these firefighters. Well, some much younger than I, Keith. I'll give you a break there. But this is so much about community coming together, SPS community, the first responders, the firefighters, the police officers, the mutual aid departments who said, we can do this together. We're prepared, we are trained. Never did they think it was going to be this bad. The number of circumstances between the night, the storm, the needs, the extraordinary event of the fire itself. But I have to say, this is about the best of us. So what better day, I knew I was going to get there. Sorry about choking up, but I'm so proud of all of you. It is about the best of us. You did your job under the most extraordinary of circumstances. You ran to the flames in the night, in the storm. You saved lives in the building. You made sure none of you was injured. You protected the property as best you absolutely could, and you protected the neighborhood as best you absolutely could. This is about the best of us. And it doesn't come just by accident. As Bud said, this is decades of planning for the worst and being prepared with the very best. I think it's something like 68 companies responded that night. 68 companies responded. It's about community and coming together. And I want to thank the chief, of course, for spearheading the response. I want to thank absolutely all of you. Could we just do a round of applause? And would you raise your hand, first responders, all the folks who are part of this effort. Congratulations. Thank you for what you do. I commend all of you. And a word about SPS. Just very quickly about SPS. SPS has been an important part of our community for 100 years. And I say that with some experience. Most of my husband's family, who also grew up right here on Roberts Avenue, the Canaan family, most of them worked at SPS, including my own father-in-law during the World War II effort. Many of my husband's uncles, a couple of aunts, so many have worked at SPS. We thank you for that opportunity of work that we can be proud of. What you do for the commercial industry, what you do for defense industry, work that we can be proud of. So SPS, I thank you and your leadership. We want to see it back better, and I want to see it back better and stronger. And I have a couple people on my side, like a governor. But I thank you for your responsibility in this tragedy, that it wasn't even worse, and what you're doing now for the demolition and for jobs. This is about jobs in the economy and pride of work. So I couldn't be more proud. Could we do another round of applause for all of those who responded, and many of them can't be here today. Thanks.
Okay, next we're going to have County Commissioner Neil Mukaya. Nikita, sorry, close.
Thank you, everybody. It's Commissioner Neil is fine. I'm used to that. It's Neil McKeej. I'm here with my fellow county commissioners, Jamila Winder and Tom DeBello, and I'm so grateful that we get the chance to honor this group of heroes again. And you know, many of you might have seen that we had a number of ways of doing so around the moment through our commissioners meeting and elsewhere, but I want to highlight some of the people who we may not have seen or heard from, and you as first responders know this, however. So on behalf of the communities at Glenside, Jenkintown, Abington, and Cheltenham, we owe you a tremendous debt of gratitude. Many of you stopped whatever you were doing to fight this blaze. So I know at our Montgomery County Office of Department of Public Safety, there are people who work 9 to 5 who then put on their uniforms and went to fight the fire. There are people who work as teachers at every employer that you can think of who put on the uniform, and in addition to the full-time job or the school that they were getting educated at, came to fight the fire. All of you are truly heroes. I want to thank in particular, when we think about the 70 different companies that responded, that was able to happen effectively because we had an amazing coordination, in part thanks to our Director of Public Safety, Brian McCowan, in the county, and the entire public safety team that coordinated that response. So please give them a round of applause for their work. Many of you working at the 911 Center, the Emergency Operations, Communications, the Hazmat Unit, the Emergency Management and Technology teams, the Incident Support team. You all came together to make this happen, to corral all of our resources, all of that preparation, that courage that happened across the county in different companies, and channeled it into succeeding in combating the fire. And until DPS arrived on the scene with the command center, there was an unofficial headquarters for the first responders. You all know what that is, the Highland Restaurant and Bar. So please give it up for Dan and Kelsey Katz. They opened their doors. They gave our responders a place to rest, a place to eat, and their staff could not have been more welcoming and helpful. And when I think about them, I also think about the family members, the friends, the neighbors who were willing to raise their hands and help residents at a time when there was a perimeter where people were asked to evacuate, and many residents were very scared about what was going to happen. They didn't have plans about where they were going to stay, but people stepped up. ordinary people wanted to help their friends and neighbors. They even found people on Facebook and were able to support each other. And that's something that really showed the spirit of community. So it's been 4.5 months since the largest fire, which I didn't realize, a building fire in all of Pennsylvania, but especially in Montgomery County. And when hundreds of you came together, you did so, as we said, without a single injury and fatality. That is something that speaks to all of our training, all of our work and commitment in the years that led up to that. And I want to just say, on behalf of all of us as commissioners, we're not just here to say thank you on behalf of the 868,000 residents of Montgomery County. You have our commitment and support for that work. So I'm proud, when we first took office, the first vote that we ever made was to give 100% county property tax rebate to first responders and firefighters. And we're going to continue to make sure that that's known. And thankfully, I also just want to say, county property tax is not that bad compared to schools, but we're going to encourage every school district and township to follow suit. And we're very proud that we're the largest county in the Commonwealth that has passed that. So I'm going to pass it on to my colleagues, Commissioner Jamila Winder.
Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? A little hot, I'm sure, but I am honored to be here with all of you, and I will be brief. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Like our Congresswoman shared, this is what is great about Montgomery County. And I think about being a resident here for more than 4 decades, and I think about that moment 4 months ago where all of you answered the call to the largest fire in Montgomery County's history. It just makes me so proud. And you'll probably see my little guy running around here. He's 5 years old. And we talk a lot about heroes. And what do I want to be when I grow up? And he gets to see the heroes and the sheroes right here as an example of what he can be and aspire to be. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you. We're always here for you, and I look forward to walking in the parade with you. Thank you. Happy 4th. And I'll introduce my colleague, Commissioner Tom DeBello.
Well, they stole all the good stuff. I just, I want to just reiterate a lot of what was already said. And, from a county perspective, we're honored to be able to be here today and participate in this big parade. It's a beautiful day, and, it's just going to be an amazing day. And I think for a lot of us, this is our second, third, fourth parade of the day. But we're dedicated to our community. But more importantly, we're here to pay homage to the men and women that are dedicated to their communities, that volunteer their time and act as firemen, firewomen. They're amazing. They're an amazing group of people. And you heard, this fire was unbelievable. It's probably the biggest fire in Montgomery County history. The 70 plus fire departments that came from not only Montgomery County, but the collar counties of Philadelphia as well, was just amazing. And the reason that happens is because of the brotherhood within the fire departments. They're here for each other, they're here to work with each other, and they're here to support each other. And one of the most amazing things that I saw when I was here during that fire was going into the command center and watching how everything was so well coordinated, how everything was, you would think that fire that big with so many different apparatuses, you would think it would be chaotic. And I'll tell you what, it was being run as smooth as you could imagine. Everything was under control. They knew exactly what they were doing. They had each of the groups broken down within the command center, who was operating, who was giving direction to where. It was just amazing. And just that all happens because of the training that occurs and the training and the partnership that occurred with STS. That's what made this special. And as mentioned, that this fire, to leave that a couple days later with no injuries, no deaths, and no secondary fires from the surrounding communities, from the surrounding houses, is just amazing. And the ability to keep the fire contained as much as possible. And as mentioned, I'll leave with this. That group of first responders that showed up, that got here first, got on scene first, knowing that there were 60 plus individuals that were potentially still inside, didn't hesitate, ran right in, and got everyone out safely, and that in itself is just amazing. So again, a big congratulations and thank you for all of your support and everything that you were doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Now we have State Representative Sanchez.
Thank you, President Gerhard, and I too will be quick because so much of what's said resonates with me as well. And I just want to express my sincere gratitude on behalf of a grateful Commonwealth. And I know State Senator Art Haywood wanted to be here today to express his gratitude from the state as well. He's traveling right now. But as many of you know, I am OG, original Glenside. Grew up, thank you, yep, give it up, like the Congresswoman, like Commissioner Vahey, and so many here with us now. Grew up right down the road here on Jenkintown Road, and I had my 50th birthday this year, and I think I've been to 50 parades as of today. So I just remember distinct memories, and I don't know if President Gerhard was on one of the trucks, but I remember the shiny trucks rolling by when I was a little boy. Like I'll see it through the eyes of my little boy today too, and just thinking what heroes these people, mostly volunteer, are just the best of our best, and you're heroes in the mind of a little boy then, and you are my heroes today. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and so proud of you. Thank you all.
State Senator Rep. Nelson and Senator McCormick, Senator Best also. So now we're going to have Commissioner Matt. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, you gave me bad information, Madam. I'm so sorry. Well, it's her fault.
Good afternoon. I'm State Rep. Napoleon Nelson. I remember that night. I remember seeing realistically on Facebook the alert that SPS was on fire. And I represent the community in Jenkintown as well as Cheltenham. And I immediately was on Jenkintown, and the smoke was thick. I was there 11:30, 11:45 at night, and there were residents who were putting out little brush fires and embers that were on their lawn, and everyone was scared. And I can imagine that it was scary for everybody else here too. I went down to the Highland, and everyone says it looked like just such great organization. I remember sitting there when we realized that all of the workers were out of the building, and the feeling of relief. And I remember thinking and watching as you guys were figuring out where the chemicals were on the site and trying to make sure everything was appropriate and organized. They say we trained for this, and I guess you did, but I know what it felt like when I was there. And I know what the community was feeling as that was happening. So, it's the 4th of July, and we're gonna march through the streets in a couple minutes, and an awful lot of folks are gonna cheer for you, as they should. They're gonna have really no idea what you all trained for. They're really gonna have no idea what your life and job is. They're gonna have no idea what your families go through when that alarm goes off. But the folks to your left and to your right do. And the folks here on stage appreciate that and appreciate your work. Realistically, there are a few things more community-based, more almost American than wearing your uniform in the line of duty, of raising the barn, realistically, and of working alongside your neighbors to put out a neighbor's fire. It just makes sense that we recognize you once again on this day, on the 4th of July. 249th time we've been able to celebrate this here. So on behalf of Cheltenham, Jenkintown, and Springfield, on behalf of a grateful community and grateful nation, I say happy 4th of July to you all. Thank you so much.
Nobody else right now? No, okay. Okay, so now Commissioner Matt Fahey, which poor Matt, his house is about 2 blocks from the fire, and he has been such a great support from when the flames first started, and we really do appreciate what he's done.
Thank you, Bud. Thank you all that are here. So as Bud noted, I do live 2 blocks away, and I was uncomfortable being in my house because I could see the flames, and you all ran into the fire. I just can't imagine the level of courage it takes to do a feat like that. We truly live among heroes in this township, and I've never been prouder to call Abington my home. So on behalf of my family, my neighbors, and the entire Board of Commissioners, thank you. And as a small reflection of gratitude, on Thursday night, my colleagues and I will be voting on an ordinance to improve upon our existing tax rebate program for firefighters, which will allow for up to 100% property tax rebate on township taxes and a potential 100% rebate on your earned income tax based on hours of service. It's not nearly enough, but it's what we can do, so thank you. And now I have the honor to recognize each fire company that responded that is here today. First, the Abington Fire Company, please raise your hands to be acknowledged. The McKinley Fire Company. Weldon Fire Company. Edge Hill Fire Company. Roslyn Fire Company. Jamestown Fire Department. The Rockledge Fire Company. Glenside Fire Company. Lamont Fire Company. Elkins Park Fire Company. Cheltenham Fire Company. Winmore Fire Company. Flowertown Fire Company. Fort Washington Fire Company. Wissahickon Fire Company. Enterprise Fire Company of Hatboro. Center Square Fire Company. Chalfont Fire Company. Marion Fire Company of Ardmore. The Abington Police Department. Abington Township Fire Marshal and Emergency Management. And on this one, I want to particularly recognize Chris Platts, our Fire Marshal, and Tom Mack, our Director of Emergency Services. The Cheltenham Township Police Department. Second Alarmist Rescue Squad. Cheltenham Township EMS. And the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Thank you so much for all you do. Happy 4th of July.
Okay, so just some closing comments real quick. I'd also like to Dan Gear to just raise his hand. He's our representative from SPS, Vice President of SPS. Lives in Nashville to come up here just for this event. So I have a few closing comments, which will be quick, because Keith says he wants to get to the food trucks. Thank you to the Glenside Patriotic Association for letting us take over their parade. Mission Barbecue for a great job they did with the food. Crystal Gerhardt, no relation, that set all this up. I'm just kidding, she is related. Did a great job with this refreshments. And also, not only for this, but she also headed up with a bunch of other people, the SPS refreshments during the entire week we were there. So. And then John Gerhardt, who hasn't been at work since the SPS fire, putting all this together. So I don't want to turn my back to everybody here, but I'm going to back up a little bit because this is not part of the script, but I want everybody to know up front here that this is not why we do what we do. We are not used to getting recognized for what we do 24/7, 365 days a year. But I can tell you that we really appreciate what you've done today, taking your time to come out here. The next thing I would like to say to you, which isn't part of the script, is we need you. And I have to take advantage of this because we have you all in one spot, which is very unusual. But we need your help. And you can see how strong the volunteer fire service is in Abington Township, Montgomery County, surrounding counties. And we need to keep it alive and moving. And the only way we can do that is with each of your support. And some of you talked today about some of the things you're doing with tax credits. You have no idea the impact that is for recruitment and retention. That is so important. We need more help with that. We need more help financially from the township standpoint. We also need loans. Not 2% loans, 0% loans. Everybody heard that, 0% loans. We need grants, and we need you to give us total support so we can keep doing what we love to do. And when you look out here and you look at this group, I'm on my back nine, obviously. This is a young group of firefighters that are ready to go, and it's going to carry this tradition on. Again, thank you very much, and God bless America.
Hello everyone, this is Senator Dave McCormick. I'm sorry I can't join you all in person today, but I'm honored to speak with you and to honor our local heroes. I want to express my gratitude for the first responders here today, and across the Commonwealth, those who run towards danger when others are running away. No matter the emergency, you are there when we need you the most, putting your lives on the line to protect us all. I especially want to thank those who responded swiftly and decisively to control the fire at SPS Technologies earlier this year. A total of 68 fire companies responded to this emergency, and each one of you who did what you did to contain this fire and save lives deserves to be commended for your hard work, your bravery, and your perseverance throughout this multi-day response. To those of you at the all-volunteer Abington Township Fire Department, your heroic work highlights the critical importance of volunteer forces throughout our Commonwealth. I'd also like to give a special thanks to Weldon Fire Company Chief Keith Maslin and Deputy Chief John Gerhardt for their efforts at the SPS Fire and for organizing this event. From volunteers to professional fire responders or first responders, I'm grateful for the sacrifices you all make to ensure your communities are safe places to live, to work, and to raise your families. May God bless all of you.